Okay, mask completely off. This is Steve Williams talking.
It got me thinking about the trolls that frequent my, my YouTube channel, and it makes me think of some of the forums out there that are dedicated to, people being trolly and trollish.
Physical and mental abuse going on in my home and outside of my home. I was made fun of, I was mocked. A lot of trolls been coming out of the woodworks. A lot of people have really been amping up the
Online harassment and online hate campaigns. These things are very, very common, and all you ever have to do is check my YouTube comments, and you'll see that I am certainly a victim of online harassment on a daily basis. Because the algorithm just doesn't serve up my videos as much as they used to, and I'm not blaming the algorithm. I'm blaming myself. I'm blaming the last couple of years of my life. People are just kind of tired of clicking on my face. If this is not my emotional rock bottom, I don't know what is. Certainly not my financial rock bottom.
My name is Mr. Snowflake, and at the end of November 2021, I uploaded a video titled Boogie2988, When the Mask Slips. I had watched weeks and weeks worth of clips of Boogie. I must have watched maybe 200 or more of his videos, and by the time the video was finally finished and uploaded, I was both proud and happy it was all over. Watching one person so much in such a short space of time can make you go a little mad. So I was finished with Boogie and ready to move on to the next project, and not think about him again for a long, long time. But then Boogie did something. Boogie had watched the video I made about him and left me a comment. It was a nice comment as well. He told me he didn't normally watch videos about himself, but this one was well done, funny and really enjoyable. And although he didn't agree with everything in the video, he now had a better understanding of why he fell off so hard. He even subscribed to the channel, although many in the comments suspected he was just trying to manipulate me. Either way, I was happy with the result. I made a video all about him that wasn't just some attack piece. I had tried to be as fair as possible, with a few cheeky jokes thrown in here and there. I talked about why Boogie was losing fans, and there were many, many reasons, of which I outlined in the video, but the two main points being that almost every video he made, it was Boogie talking about his struggles.
A lot of people don't know about me, but I suffer from almost crippling social anxiety disorders. My anxiety has been in rare form, causing me to have a few just crying sessions. What I can do about the depression. There's not much I can do about the paranoia and the anxiety. I still deal with a lot of social anxiety.
And if it wasn't Boogie talking about his struggles, it was him addressing the trolls.
And right now, there's a whole slew of new bullies on my YouTube channel making fun of me or making fun of my fans. And I've been called every name in the book. Nothing I haven't heard before. Actually, a few things I haven't heard before. I've been called fat and stupid and ugly and gross.
Oh, but the trolls have really come out at the top. Speaking of trolls.
And the bigger your audience gets, the more of these people you deal with. And so it makes it difficult to use your social media. It makes it difficult to use your Twitter and your Facebooks and whatever.
So I figured that now this was it. This was the end of me dealing with Boogie. But then he did something else.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And I think if you've been following me for any amount of time, probably comes as no surprise to you that I'm an idiot.
Boogie, in his very next video, after commenting on my video, uploaded his own, titled Boogie2988 is an idiot. He didn't address me personally or the video I made about him, but he did talk about the points I raised in my video, and it was an interesting watch.
The problem is, on social media especially, a lot of people don't want to see your losses. They don't want to see your mental health struggles. They don't want to see your eating disorders. When I got my divorce, when I went through my mental health struggles, my eating disorder, whenever I post any of this stuff, there's people that do not react to that well at all. And there's also core fans who just get tired of it. They want me.
Boogie seemed to finally get why he had been losing so many fans and why people were just getting tired of his channel. People were just getting sick of hearing Boogie talk about his struggles. But maybe it wasn't my video that made him suddenly see the light. Maybe it was just a coincidence that the video he uploaded after mine was a self-reflective Boogie talking about what he had done wrong. whatever the reason for Boogie finally seeing the light, at least he finally saw it.
The internet is not your therapist, Boogie. Also, anybody else. Guys.
As well as Boogie accepting what he had been doing wrong, he also appeared pumped up, refreshed, and ready to make a change.
I've definitely turned the corner and I'm feeling much more upbeat and much more positive. I'm doing okay here on YouTube, feeling pretty happy and confident for a change. And you know, it's really interesting. I'm still losing subscribers every day, but I'm losing far less. People are reacting less angrily and violently on Reddit and Twitter.
So, not only was he done with the mental health talk, but he was now also done with addressing the haters and trolls.
As hard and as difficult as this is for me to admit, the people out there that don't like me, they're never going to like me. And the people out there who don't believe the truth about me will never believe the truth. And I've tried for 4 years now. 4 years of trying to reiterate the truth over and over again. 4 years ago of trying to self-improve, do better, make better content. If they don't like me by now, they're never going to like me, right? And what's the point in trying? Why continue to ostracize the fans that do believe me and that do like me and that do understand reality and do accept reality for the handful of people that don't? Fuck them. I guess there was never a chance they were going to listen anyway. But, you know, stupid optimist brain, what can you do?
Sadly though, he still had one troll that he just couldn't get out of his head.
We both know I'm really worried about something that could happen in 2022. You know what I'm talking about. And hopefully I'm not going to make any mistakes near that lines anytime again soon.
What Boogie was referring to there was the infamous incident where he allegedly fired a gun in the air when a troll named Frank Hassel showed up at his house. And Boogie had been worried and stressed that his actions that day could land him in jail, ever since this incident happened over 2 years ago. But Boogie, while he waited for the matter to be resolved in the courts, was going to be the best version of Boogie he could be.
Finally getting my feet under me, I'm finally figuring it all out, and I might actually be that competent adult that young me thought I might end up becoming.
Boogie had spent almost his entire YouTube career, which began back in 2006, talking about his haters, and he had used the internet for, using his phrase, as a therapy session. So what else would Boogie focus on now that he was done with all of that? Well, one much happier thing he was going to focus on was his new dog Leo. He already had a dog named Sammy, but Leo was his latest addition to the family, and Boogie was clearly enjoying filming Leo and showing him off to the world.
There's two types of dogs in the world. Dogs that don't have to be on a leash, and some dogs that definitely do. Come on, let's go. Good boy. And let him continue to get used to it. But I love that Sammy's interested. Oh, spooky boy.
However, straight away, Boogie seemed to have failed in his new journey. On December the 22nd, he tweeted, "My New Year's resolution is this. I am done acknowledging people who dislike me online. I am done addressing the mistakes of my past. Please help me do this. If you're a fan and you see me fail to do this, remind me to block them and move on. As a fan, if you see it discuss this stuff, tell me to delete it. I can't do it without you guys." Then the very next day tweeted, "I blocked like 20 people for replying negatively to this. Try me kids, line up for your blocks here." Boogie letting everyone know that he had blocked 20 people was still acknowledging the people who disliked him, something he said he was not going to do any longer. Boogie, as one person's tweet read, had only lasted 8 hours before going on Reddit and interacting with trolls. But Boogie pointed out that it was now actually his New Year's resolution to stop having anything to do with the trolls, and it was still 2021. Still though, it didn't fill his fans with much confidence he was going to be able to ignore the haters in 2022 if he couldn't last more than 8 hours. But yes, Boogie had gone from his "I'm an idiot" video telling us what he was going to do, to now saying ignoring the haters and being less negative was actually his New Year's resolution after all. And when people asked him about the troll who showed up at his house, Boogie said, "This kind of thing I will be blocking." So at least he wasn't going to be discussing his biggest troll, although that was probably due to legal reasons rather than Boogie turning any sort of corner. Despite acknowledging the negative people online so quickly, Boogie went back to more positive things, like getting outside and doing something active and fun. And even an innocent tweet from Boogie explaining how he now had blisters from the golf drew negative comments, but Boogie did not reply, so maybe he was going to be able to do this after all. Christmas was upon us and Boogie seemed in good spirits, but he still couldn't help himself. Merry Christmas to you all, but especially those who are obsessed with me and are upset that I exist. Take this one day to let it go for a while. I can continue to piss you off on Boxing Day. Boogie had fans who had stuck by him through almost his entire YouTube career. Yes, he may have lost a lot of subs in recent years, but some fans were going to be fans for life, no matter what he did or said. They would buy his merch and offer him advice. Just live your best life and don't make the vid that is explaining everything. Taking the good advice and focusing more on his new puppy and getting out of the house more surely would benefit Boogie. After all, it was the negative people online that would make his mental struggles worse. Something else he could focus on was his new girlfriend. Boogie's failed marriage was a much publicised affair, mainly publicised by Boogie himself.
What do you want?
Hey, it's good to hear your voice. It's been a couple days.
But with this new lady friend, he wasn't revealing much about her at all. The only thing he was revealing was that they were happy together. Boogie would tweet every day, multiple times a day most days, and usually it was some pleasant memes or some positive words to help inspire people who were struggling. But even when he was being more positive, he would of course still get the negative comments. I remember months ago when Boogie did a couple of new style videos. After first one said he loved doing them and was gonna do them more often. Made like one more and stopped. You're all talk man, put up or shut up as they say. This is how me and many other broken people work. Say we are going to do something, try and fail to do that thing, either try again or try something else. Fail again, repeat till something finally works. Boogie explaining that he will try and fail to do something, then fail again, didn't bode well for his new goals. It was getting closer and closer to New Year's, and he was just trying to figure out what else he could make videos on, rather than the mental health struggles and the troll talk. Think there is a chance of me coming back on YouTube if I started working harder at it. More frequent upload with better commentary, less personal stuff and more looking at other things. More relevant topics and things with actual jokes and effort. Boogie made it sound like he had been done with YouTube for a while, but that day he had uploaded a video, and had uploaded twice in the last week already, but he seemed ready to put more effort into his YouTube at least, and the majority believed he could do it, judging by his poll. Although you should never take a poll as 100% accurate, they're not always the most reliable thing. But even when Boogie was just doing an innocent video about the latest Spider-Man film, he still just couldn't help himself.
I don't enjoy making normal people upset, but I do kind of get upsetting assholes. And that sounds like a good time to me. So,
Boogie, though not interacting one-on-one with a specific troll, was still acknowledging the trolls in general. He needed to ignore completely. Boogie got famous in the first place because of his aggressive nerdy character Francis, and he enjoyed doing the Francis character. And although Francis couldn't be what he once was with the YouTube censors, he still made the odd appearance.
That dog steal kitty milk out of the refrigerator as a joke, Bobby Cook!
Not only was it the thing that got him noticed in the first place, but it was easy content. He could just film himself shouting at the camera for a few minutes and upload. Francis used to be the thing that would get him the most views, but now it did what his normal videos did, sometimes even less than that. Boogie, now that he couldn't use Francis in the same way anymore because of those pesky censors, still didn't really know what he wanted his channel to be. Sometimes it would be Francis screaming, sometimes it would be Boogie reviewing games or discussing films, or what was in the news this week, or what the latest YouTube drama was, or of course his mental health struggles and the trolls. And sometimes it was about how he was losing weight. He was trying to offer something for everyone. It was almost the new year, and Boogie made one last video where he wanted to make absolutely clear what his goals were heading into 2022.
And have carried regret and misery for forever. I let my childhood and the early days of my life dictate who I was and my behavior for the entirety of my life. And I'm just kind of over it. I'm just fine. I'm done casually mentioning it in videos and on Twitter, and I've mentioned them in 100 videos. I've tweeted about them 1,000 times. Do I think I was treated fairly by a lot of people on Twitter and Reddit and elsewhere? No, absolutely not. I'm done being angry about it, though. I'm done being sad about it, and I'm done talking about it. I want this to be the last time that I have to bring it up, and I'm going to do my damnedest to not do it. And this is where you come in. If you see me talking about it in a video, I want you to say, Boogie, you promised me, your fan, that you were not going to talk about this. Sorry, as for bringing it back up for pity or sympathy or anything like that, we're done. Done. And you're not going to let me do it. You're going to call me out every single time. You see it on Twitter, you tell me to delete it. If you see it in the YouTube video, you tell me to do better. That's what always made things worse. It's always made things worse. When I try to explain myself, when I try to talk about the things that are true and that are not, when I try to show the receipts and show the evidence of why somebody is wrong, it never helps. It never works. It's never benefited me in any way. Not a single. Let it go, man. Just let it go, right? Like, it's okay. It's okay for people to not like me. It's okay for people to hate me. That's difficult as a son of a narcissist. That's difficult as the son of someone who is abusive. So I do really want to move forward, putting out happier and more positive, more fun content, to be fun and more entertaining and more woe is me, more pity is me, less of that stuff, I should say, and focus on just enjoying content and making content that's enjoyable. And that includes Twitter, that includes everywhere else. I really probably should have been doing it here first. I probably, in 2017, when I went through divorce, when I went through my gastric bypass surgery, I probably should have never put that stuff here. I'll never be back on top where I once was, getting 1 million views per Francis video. But for the majority, I don't want to talk about negative shit anymore. Again, it's kind of looping back, but I want to focus on the positivity and put that into my content and put that into my tweets and put that into my life.
It didn't matter if it was my video that initially inspired him to want to do better, or if it was simply because a new year was almost here. It was definitely my video. Boogie had set the stage for a new him. We were all ready, the world was ready, and most importantly, Boogie was ready.
Have I failed to do it? Yes, but this is how broken people work. If you don't know this, clip this out too. I think this is good information. We say we're going to do something, then we try to do the thing. And then either we succeed to do the thing or we fail to do the thing. And then we decide to either try that thing again or try something else in the hopes that that works. And we repeat this process until something sticks. That's how broken people work. That's how people are successful. You try and try again, and you keep failing over and over again until you get it right. And the people that do make it are the people that don't give up. So I'm not giving up. This might be the chance. I think it's going to be the chance. I want it to be the chance. I'm going to put the effort into it. Let's see how far we can go.
So, January arrived and this was it now. No more acknowledging the negative people online, and no more treating YouTube like a free therapy session. It was time for a more positive Boogie. And he was starting the year off well. He was focusing more on his pets and his new lady friend, and in his first YouTube video of the year, he was discussing the drama between other people and not talking about himself. Boogie tried his best to give some interesting takes, but more importantly, he didn't address his haters, and he didn't use YouTube as a free therapy session. Okay, so it was only the first video of the year, but considering just how often Boogie would do these things in his previous videos, going one full video was a victory. but just 3 days into the new year, Positive Boogie was gone. Anyone else in a major funk since the new year began? Like numb and kinda sad. I feel like after making it through the holidays, my brain just turned itself off. I used the time to near Halo Infinite's campaign though. Fun. And he had already kinda failed to not mention his haters. 5 days into the New Year's resolution, and I ain't said nothing about my mistakes in the past or talked to shy, negative people. Yay me! You just did though. Okay, he didn't directly speak to a negative person, but he was still acknowledging these people in general. But it was fine, he could fall at the first hurdle a little and still make it up to win the race. Like how if you're on a diet and have one bad meal, doesn't mean you just give up. Just 2 days later, he was feeling good. People used to call Boogie a fence sitter for not giving a strong enough opinion on the topics he would discuss. So he made a show called On the Fence, and people were responding well to the show. Boogie was feeling good again and out of his funk, and if he was feeling good, there was more of a chance he could find the willpower to ignore any negativity. Right?
I know I'm not supposed to talk about stuff like this, but I'm going to talk about negativity for a second here. But first, because after I started posting on TikTok, people started, this is so stupid. There were some Reddit threads that caught some traction saying that me posting on TikTok was proof that I wanted to bang kids, because I guess at the time, a lot of people thought of TikTok as a kids app, and then a lot of people on Reddit thought I was a pedophile. And I guess it's the most common claim on the internet. Everybody thinks everybody's a pedophile all the time, right? But because of those two things, I decided to stop posting to TikTok, and I stopped making short-term content. And now these content creators obviously post the same short-form content on TikTok, on Reels, on YouTube, on TikTok.
Many people who would throw this accusation of Boogie being inappropriate did it because they knew he would react to it. Some actually believed it, of course, but even people who didn't believe he was doing anything evil still found his behavior to be a little creepy.
But I just want to be honest with you. I know that I can go full on Jabba the Hutt with that girl, because she's going to let me chain her up, put her in that slave lay outfit, and do whatever I want to. And you know what? She'll call me daddy, because she has no clue who her real daddy.
Dear gentleman of TikTok, I don't know if you realize you do it. When you do that little smile thing of yours, yes,
I'm big.
Just like
I'm Chris Hansen.
thank you.
2018 was really hard. So
Boogie had spent 15 years telling everyone about his problems, his struggles, and his difficult childhood. And despite saying he was done telling us about that in 2022, well,
Even though I've been morbidly obese, even though I've had heart problems and lymphedema and all these other different problems, my doctors have kept me alive through all of it. It's a miracle I'm still alive. It's a miracle of modern science that I haven't had a stroke or a heart attack yet. I spent a lot of time in hospitals. I spent a lot of time in doctors' waiting offices and emergency rooms. When I was a kid, I was already pretty fat, you know? So for those of you who don't already know, I have fused discs in my back, I've got 2 really bad knees, and I live with chronic pain. And being super fat has made it 10 times worse. This can severely limit what I do,
often Boogie would talk about his personal struggles when commenting on something in the news that he could relate to and talk about his similar experiences. So it wasn't like he was sat having a free therapy session. But he did say he was also done just casually mentioning his struggles as well. Many of his fans had switched off from his channel long ago because he had a tendency to do this, always discuss his problems whenever he got the chance. Boogie, I think this is a good example of why people don't like you, and I don't think you realize when you do it. You can't make a comment when someone dies or falls ill without it not sounding genuine and a way to make yourself sound better. Just don't comment at all then. So he was casually mentioning his struggles again, but at least he wasn't sat feeling sorry for himself. He would still talk about his horrible upbringing, but would do it when talking about a similar topic or answering fan questions.
This guy wants to know, if I could go back in time, what would I change or do differently? If I could change any one thing, It's the way that I ate, especially as a teenager and as a young adult, because I wasn't eating to live, I was eating to die. I was like slowly murdering myself with food because that made the most sense in my brain. I didn't want to grow old, I was miserable, I just liked food, it brought me comfort. I still kind of feel that way about the comfort thing, but I would like to not look like Jabba the Hutt, thank you. That would be the major thing I would fix. I'd probably try to stay out of legal trouble.
So, not even halfway through January, how was not acknowledging the haters going for Boogie?
Fuck you. I can talk about whatever I want to, and I can criticize anything I want to, even if I'm fat! Ethan has broken a cardinal rule, one that people break with me all the time, and it pisses me off when people do it, is they offer unsolicited advice. Hey man, you need to lose weight. Hey man, you need to cut your beard. Hey man, you need to do this, you need to do that. Fuck you. Right? Like, fuck you. I know what I need to do. Me and my therapist and my friends and my family, we know what I need to do. I don't know you, man. You're a stranger. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Again, he wasn't directly responding to one hater, just the general haters. Still not great, but at least he wasn't going back and forth, arguing with people like he used to. Thankfully, he knew now that was foolish.
Lord knows, I should know. If talking to toxic people and critical people and trying to explain your side and try to give them attention and try to help them, if that worked, it would have worked for me. That's all I did for like 4 straight years. Talk to people on Reddit, talk to people on Twitter, try to explain my situation, and it just got worse and worse and worse.
So he knew talking to them didn't work, but he still couldn't help himself just address the general hate.
People shouldn't tune into my channel to objectify me either, but they do. To them, I'm just a fatterton who's fat. That's it. I'm not a person. I'm not Stephen Williams. I'm this character Boogie. I'm not even that to them. I'm just fatty fat. And then they...
One reason why people gave up with Boogie is that after Francis wasn't allowed to be Francis anymore, they just got bored of the real Boogie and bored of his channel. And not even 2 full weeks into the new year, even Boogie seemed bored by his videos.
I'm not going to put any graphics up or anything like that. Put it on while you're playing a video game. Listen to me in the background. I think it's probably going to be 15 or 20 minutes long.
Despite trying his best to be more positive, he still had his big problem on his mind.
Okay, mask completely off. This is Steve Williams talking, and I'm really worried about the outcome of the legal problems I'm in, where the dude came to my house, and you've seen the videos, you know what I'm talking about. That trial is going to be at some point this year, but I don't think it's going to be a great outcome. I don't think it's going to be the one that me or my lawyer are hoping for, but who knows. But I'm just scared shitless, man. I'm really, really worried about it and what the effects are going to be. How will it affect my YouTube career? How is it going to affect my life? How is it going to affect everything?
If Boogie ever needed a reminder why it was not a good idea to go back and forth with a troll, his upcoming trial was definitely it.
Girlfriends, and I've been focusing on what really matters. I've been making less YouTube videos and tweeting less and live streaming less, so that in case things do go really bad with this legal stuff and I have to sit in a cell for some reason, then...
Boogie had been losing subs and in turn views as well, and from the sounds of it, he would have done just about anything to get those views back.
I have had in my notes of video ideas, Francis does a mukbang where he gets really mad, throws stuff all over the place, cries in his food, kind of like a Nick Ocado parody. As for Nick choosing to do a collab with me, Nick, call me. But there's no reason he would, right? There's never a chance he would do that with me. But if he did, I would be down.
Imagine having anything to do with Nick Ocado Avocado just so you can get some views. But a collab between Boogie and Nick Ocado would probably be a ratings winner. Collabs always seem to do big views. Boogie didn't have a perfect January by any means. He didn't use YouTube as a therapy session, but he still casually talked about his struggles when he could. And although not directly going back and forth with any specific troll, he did acknowledge the haters in general. But for Boogie, this was a big win for him, and it was a better month than he had had in quite a while. So not perfect, but he seemed to be heading in the right direction, and he was still determined to keep on improving himself.
It would be cool if we all decided to be better people in 2022. Spoiler alert, we probably won't. And that leaves it on the content creator to rise above and be the better person. And that includes me, that includes you, that includes Everyone. We have to be better than the people who would drag us down, and I hope you choose to be.
So, January is almost over, staying good on my resolution not to discuss or respond to negative people. Seems my interactions are down overall because of it. Some people got bored and left, but it's mostly mean folks and they moved to better targets in only 31 days. Imagine if I had managed to do this years ago. Whole different world than now. Imagine if I had never engaged with that stalker who came to my home. In just 1 month, Boogie proved what everyone else already knew. Stop directly interacting with trolls, haters, anyone negative, and eventually they would get bored and leave. And it didn't even take that long. So now he knew that it actually worked, he could do it for another month and even more trolls would disappear. And although he wasn't tweeting back people, leaving negative comments, or responding back to YouTube comments, he still had haters in his head.
New Francis video on the channel today, him going out in public and trolling fans at a convention. And I just want to go ahead and say to my core fans, the last time I made one of these videos, people got mad. They were like, you're bullying people at a convention, you were bullying. So when you see one of these snowflakes complaining in the comment section, or else you want to spoil their fun, that's fun too.
He needed to do something other than stay at home, checking Twitter all day, thinking about his haters. Because even though Boogie was not as popular as he used to be, he still had plenty of fans. And Boogie got to meet some of those fans. Or should I say, Francis did.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Francis.
Austin, what the hell's your name?
Harmon?
Oh my God, really?
Yes, sir.
And you let yourself get fat. You're just asking to be bullied at this point, huh? What the hell you got there?
Do you?
What do I gotta do for that?
Mountain.
You want me to mount you? Look, I will not mount you, but you can mount me. I'll catch, but I won't pitch. Hey, what's your name?
Gavin.
What's your name online? If people like your art.
Currently, I don't have an Instagram. My mom took it down.
What is that? What do you got?
We got about.
That's my second one today. Are you trying to fatten me up?
No, sir. No, sir.
I'm supposed to be drinking diet. I mean, I'm still gonna drink that. What the hell? Are you a time traveler from 1986? What is this jacket? Indian giver, this nerd took back my Mountain Dew! Holy shit, Obi-Wan. What the hell's going on over here? You are a good-looking dude. I bet you knock it out, huh? Bet whoever you're chasing lets you catch him, huh?
I hope so.
You gotta catch them all? Okay, what is this? Is this a gift for me? Am I getting a sandwich or something?
No. I want you to sign it for me.
You want me to sign it? You want me to sign a $5 footlong coupon? What the hell? Where am I gonna, on the back? Are you trying to tell me my breath smells bad? What is happening right now? What is this?
Sign the pack of juicy.
You want me to sign a pack of gum?
Yeah.
Oh my God, who's this little glass of water? Oh shit.
Being out meeting fans, Boogie didn't have time to sit checking the internet for negative comments. However, Comic-Con didn't last forever, and Boogie went straight back to sitting at home all day, checking for hate.
But if one of you thousand son of a bitches is doing something like that, going in, sending horrible DMs to somebody, sending death threats, fucking unfollow me. Get the fuck out of my following. You're not welcome here. How could you have followed me for the last 14 years? Known what I'm about. Know that I'm about coexisting and discussion and loving each other and decide that that's what you're going to do. Go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out of my audience if you do something like that. That said, in the future, if you want to engage with somebody, engage with me. My Twitter feed. Don't go seeking somebody else out. It's fucked up.
Boogie was starting to let the negative people win. Many of the people who said anything negative towards Boogie said it because they wanted him to react. He didn't react in January and some went away, but now he had just made a video reacting quite angrily. So he messed up, but he could still get rid of some of the negative people if he quickly got back on the horse and kept ignoring them. People get so upset when I delete tweets. Man, I don't stand by anything on Twitter. I don't take it serious, no one should. If something I tweeted fails to land well or upsets someone, shit is gone. Twitter is a joke. Treat it like one for your mental health. Don't you stand by that hot take you made at 4 AM after no sleep for 2 days about a topic you barely researched. Lol, no I don't. He just couldn't help himself. Barely into February, and it seemed he was falling back into the trap once again. All he had to do was stop acknowledging these people, and his fans knew it and tried to tell him. Boogie was even responding to negative comments that weren't there. No one had tweeted him saying you can't be for free speech. Maybe they had in the past, but not for a while. So now he was fighting off bad guys that weren't even there. But perhaps there were other reasons why Boogie was creeping back into his old habits. Boogie tweeted about how the legal stuff was just getting too much for him, and that he had had a total meltdown last night, but managed to keep it offline. The court case was still in his head, and it must have been really stressful for him, worrying about whether he would go to jail or not. And yes, like he said, he managed to keep his meltdown offline, but then he came online and told people about it. And then, 2 days later, was back on Twitter doing what he said he wouldn't. I know people don't much like it when I talk about my mental health anymore, but gonna do it. Boogie opened up about how much he was struggling with the court case looming over him. Tweet after tweet about what was in his head, and once he allowed himself to talk about his struggles, well, he then opened the floodgates.
4 days, which is, I haven't left this chair, I haven't showered, I haven't done anything. I've sat here and waited for life to pass me by. I cannot tell you how many times I have tweeted about my mental health. Like, I've been diagnosed, this comes from therapy, this comes from medical professionals. I really wish with the mental health awareness came some education. But I guess that's the next 15 years of my life. Look, I understand and respect this opinion, and I'm quite aware that some people feel like I shouldn't talk about my mental health issues or my struggles, and they think I talk about it too much. And I know that when I do that, people tune out. It does help me to talk about this stuff. Making that video was therapeutic for me, you know? I live streamed tonight and I said something fairly controversial, and since I know that's probably going to end up trending somewhere, I may as well just go and put it here in a Twitter video, right? Get it over with. But somebody in chat, I was talking about the legal problems that I'm facing, maybe taking a plea deal, maybe going to court, and somebody's like, you know, it sucks because that other guy just won, right? And I said, yeah, that's one way of looking at it, but there's another way of looking at it, and this is how I choose to look at it. I'm still here, motherfucker. I haven't heard from that guy in a year, but when I live stream, 200 people still show up, right? When I make a video, 25K still watch it. And this motherfucker was just one person in a long line of people that lined up to abuse me in my life. I outlived my fucking parents and the abuse they gave me, the other problems I've had, the bullies in high school, the bullies on Reddit, the bullies on social media, and this fucking bully too, right? I'm still making content, I'm still live streaming, I'm still making videos, I'm still here. I'll live stream from jail, motherfuckers. Try me. So what I want you to do me a favor, tell me some of the rumors you've heard that you would like me to show you are false. Perfect example, I still see this on Twitter and Reddit every day. Boogie abused his ex-wife. Except my ex-wife said on a live stream with me that never happened. Well, I'm glad someone does, because I sure shit don't. Don't know why I feel compelled to do this every once in a while, but people who are worried that I'm putting on weight, just updated my scale, changed the batteries in my scale. Everybody can know for sure. 388.2, just like I said on Twitter yesterday. Huh. Surprise, surprise. You know, I got bullied as a kid, but I get bullied as an online creator even to this day, sometimes by other YouTubers, and certainly in the comments section. First off, even if I do self-pity, I think that's okay because I've been through a lot of crap. I'm still going through a lot of crap. I'm still suffering from decisions that were made for me by my caretakers 20, 30, 40 years ago. So if I feel like I deserve pity in a day, I think that's okay because I think I do. I think that's okay. And I matched with a stripper, adult entertainer by the name of Lucy Fox. I got used for my money for a few months, even flew her out to LA to do some of her work, if you know what I mean. And really had no problem with it. But eventually I began to realize she was a mean person. So she ended up making a video and uploading it to Reddit, this little subreddit of people who just
were inclined to believe her and said that I was emotionally abusive to her, which anybody who knows me personally knows I'm pretty much the opposite of that. Unless my PTSD is triggered, I am just a quiet, gentle, boring person.
Boogie had been posting negative stuff on Twitter, and in his short videos, he would post to his social media accounts. But he hadn't made a big video where he used YouTube as a therapy session for quite a while. But now that he had let the floodgates open, he did that too.
I know I've seen this comment over and over and over again. Boogie, you're putting on weight again. No, I'm not. I've been between 380 and 395 for the last 5 years almost, since my surgery. That said, I have never felt more defeated than I feel right now. If this is not my emotional rock bottom, I don't know what is. Certainly not my financial rock bottom. Certainly not like my life rock bottom. But my emotional rock bottom, my depression is at an all-time high or an all-time low. I don't know the right phrase. Even if I do spend 2 years in jail, if I can, I'm going to come back and rebuild a career. I have screwed up and had people screw with me my entire life. Right? Even my own parents were shitty to me, bullied me, terrible to me. Right? I know YouTube doesn't push these videos out the way it used to. Pretty much just sit in my chair until it's time to go sit in bed. And then I sit in bed until it's time to go sit in my chair. That's pretty much my life right now.
So, Boogie had fallen back into his old ways. He could dust himself off though and get back to being positive and happy, couldn't he? What good enough reason could he possibly have to make entire videos dedicated to his sadness?
But let me start by saying I could not have anticipated the response to that previous video. I could not. First off, it's the first video I've made in a while to get over 100,000 views. YouTube tells me that when I get success like that, I should double down and do what I did last time. So that's what I'm doing right now. This is another sit-down talk between me and the people who care. And in this video, I want to talk about my legal issues. I want to talk about my mental and physical health and my overall...
Yes, Boogie, despite saying he was done talking about his struggles, was coming back to talking about his struggles because it did good views for him. But were people watching because they wanted to make sure he was okay and found the mental health talk interesting, or did they just watch because they enjoyed seeing Boogie at his lowest? And did Boogie even care? Boogie's goal of not discussing his struggles in 2022 was now over. He had already had little blips here and there, but now there was no arguing, he failed. For years, people argued over why he spent so much of his time talking about his problems. And now we knew why.
A lot of people think I do it because I like attention. Of course I like attention. I'm a human being. We all like attention. Boogie, do you like attention? Yes. Boogie, do you like music? Uh-huh. How about food? Yeah. Water? Mm-hmm. I like the things that humans like. Of course I like attention. It's one of the reasons I do most of the things I do. Do I like attention? Yes. Do I like making money? Yes. Who doesn't? I like being a clown. I like being a dumpster fire for entertainment value. Of course I do.
He wasn't getting the attention by doing unboxing videos or talking about his dog. So he made a video dedicated to being sad, and it got him that attention. He was making video after video now discussing his struggles. He wanted to ride the wave while it lasted, and he was tweeting about it more and more. Not only about his struggles, but he was in full replying to haters mode too. Boogie seemed to be quickly spiraling until one tweet. Everyone knows what happened, everyone's made up their mind how they feel about you. Your plea deal shouldn't affect that. Nothing you can do will silence the haters. Nothing you can do can upset your fans. Avoiding jail should be the priority. Your name is what it is, regardless. The tweet from the fans seemed to snap Boogie out of his spiral, and he acknowledged he had failed in his resolutions. But he did say he had got a month and would try for another month. Plus, talking about being sad and getting the views didn't really last. It lasted maybe 2 videos and his views went back to normal. Okay, so he had a blip. a pretty big blip. He responded to the haters and he used the internet as a therapy session. But he could get back on it and go another month not doing it, just like he kind of did in January. But what if he got sad in a video and it did well for him again? Wouldn't he just go back to talking about being sad for the views and attention? We would have to wait and see. Fans always tried to help Boogie when he talked about struggling mentally, whether it be through encouraging messages or advice. And it wasn't just fans who tried to help Boogie out.
Hey Boogie2988. I was on Twitter and I seen a tweet saying I'm at rock bottom, I'm uploading a video. So I click on your video. I didn't finish the video. I just started watching it and you were talking about how you're severely depressed. You're at rock bottom. And that you go to explain your days where basically you sit in a chair for the entire day and wait until it's time to lay down. And then you lay in your bed and then you wait until it's time to sit in a chair and you just do that over and over again. And I was sitting there looking at that stuff thinking to myself, well, there's a fix to this. You gotta get up, okay? You gotta get up. You gotta move, Boogie. You gotta move. Now, I wouldn't say go take a hike because a hike is terrifying. I wouldn't say go run around the block because run around the block is terrifying. That type of thought, that type of idea in your current state, you can't do it. But can you put earbuds in your ears? Can you listen to a podcast? Can you pace back and forth in your living room, in your kitchen, around the hallway? Of course you can. And once you get going, once the blood starts flowing, you will get in the zone. Auto zone.
It was good advice. After all, it seemed to work for Keemstar himself.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am. I'm fast as fuck, boy.
January had been an okay month for him, but February was a complete write-off. But March was going to be completely different.
I saw a ray of light. I've seen the light at the end of the tunnel.
March was here, and again, Boogie was off to a good start. So it looked like Keemstar was right. Boogie sat in the house all day, or laying in bed all day, wasn't good for his mental health. Actually, moving and doing things were helping Boogie feel better. It shouldn't have taken Keemstar to realise this, but at least Boogie knew now. And now he was moving, he had a good chance to replicate January and have a better month.
I love this comment because every time I see it, I'm reminded about the fact that, yes, 14 years ago, I had one viral video and I took the momentum from that viral video and I turned it into millions of subscribers on YouTube and hundreds of millions of views and all of the ad revenue and perks that came with it. I definitely fell off. But forget about me for a minute. How's your internet presence going? Did you get your viral video yet? Did you ride that wave of virality for 14 years and earn enough money to save your life and make your life better? If not, man, don't worry about me.
Wait a minute, is that what's wrong with me? Is it that I'm fat? Oh my God, I can't wait to tell my doctor. My doctor was confused. He thought maybe I just kept getting stung by a bunch of bees. Or maybe I was allergic to the air and kept swelling up, but no, it turns out it was the food that made me fat. Oh, I can't wait to publish your findings, random commenter. Who knew? Who knew? There is a group of people who, I guess it's because they don't like me, they think ill of me, they think I've done horrible stuff or whatever. I haven't, but let's pretend I did. They do not share that empathy, do not share the sympathy. And in fact, they think it's a win. They're excited, they're happy that this happened to me. If you do not have that kind of empathy for me or others, that's a sickness. You need help. You need to get help. So obviously my dad passed in 2001 and my mom passed in 2009. And I've been in charge of my whole life as an adult for well over a decade now without their interference, right? And I'm still dealing with some of the lasting damage that was done. Like my mom purposely gave me an eating disorder. I told that story. She did it on purpose. And the PTSD from a traumatic childhood and stuff like that. I'm still struggling with that. But I certainly don't use them as an excuse for everything. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I like attention. If you feel sympathy for me, it helps out. I'm sure I like all that, right? Never gonna stop talking about it, ever, 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 ever. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch. The people who do like it do watch.
It was now all over. Boogie just couldn't help himself. He spoke about his struggles a lot, but the amount of time he spent communicating with negative people was quite shocking. I don't know if it was because his interactions were down, or he was addicted to the drama, or he had to prove he was right all the time. I don't know what goes on in Boogie's head. Not even 3 full months into 2022, and he had broken his New Year's resolutions multiple times over. But at least there was one good thing that came out of the early part of the year.
Well, it is finally over. I literally just left the courthouse. No, I'm not going to jail. Obviously, I'm not going to jail. Did I state, the judge, everyone obviously understood that. And if you're the kind of person that thinks that I should have gone to jail, or you've heard some of these other rumors I'm going to dispel in this video, please understand how wrong you are about me. That the prosecutor, that the judge, that my lawyer, that everyone involved knows how wrong you are and made a decision based on how wrong you are about me. And if you were wrong about this situation, maybe you've been wrong about some of the other things you think about me as well. Maybe now's the time to reevaluate, okay? So I didn't shoot at a school. That is just one of the many, many things that people take out of context and add to it and make believe in this crazy game of telephone where people make me out to be some bad guy, and then you and other people fall for it. Do not fall for their manipulation, please. Another insane thing I heard was that I invited him here, when that is the opposite of reality. I told him, do not come here.
I dare you to fucking come here. I dare you.
A friend, Boogie. What's wrong with visiting friends?
Visit me, friend. Visit me.
Well, Boogie, if you invite him over to your house,
if you come here, I'll end you.
I was confident. My lawyer was confident. Hell, I even think the prosecutor was confident that if this went to court, I would walk away completely unscathed. In case things do go really bad with this legal stuff and I have to sit in a cell for some reason, then I will be able to, say that I concentrated on what was really important at the time. I was confident. My lawyer was confident. Hell, I even think the prosecutor was confident that if this went to court, I would walk away completely unscathed. And having that axe above my head, not knowing, am I going to jail? Am I a felon? I don't know. I genuinely don't know how this is going to play out anymore. Never did. Every YouTuber I've talked to, every celebrity, every PR person all tells me, never engage. That's rule 1 of the internet, I think. Never engage, right, with these type of people. And then once this guy was on my property, I should have went back to the first thing I discussed, the first mistake I made, which is not to engage. People have long speculated as to why I opened the door and why I went out front, and I'll tell you why. In my PTSD rattled brain, I thought this person is here for me and only me. He doesn't give a shit about my roommate. He doesn't give a shit about the random repair guy that's in my house right now. He only wants to hurt me. So if I go out front, he can do whatever he wants to me, and he'll leave everybody else alone. That was my thought process. I opened that door to protect the people that were in my house and sacrifice myself. I've been abused by bullies on the internet, bullies in real life. I've been mentally and physically, even by my own parents, and I never really... keep in mind, I have an anxiety disorder. I mean, we're talking some of the biggest content creators on the platform reaching out to me to support me through this. With that kind of support and that kind of love, it made it possible for me to get through this, and I'm ready to get back at it, and I hope you'll be there. I want my YouTube videos to be funny and edgy and weird again. Even though I had to lay low and I couldn't do that for a while, I wanted them to be funny, edgy, and weird again. I want my streams to be funny, edgy, and weird again. Even though I was terrified that it would be taken out of context to mess with people or something, But I'm done. I'm done letting those people rule my life. They've done as much damage as they can. Fuck it now. Fuck it. This is, for all intents and purposes, I think, the last big shot I have for this whole social media thing. I don't want to let it pass me by. So we're going to give it a shot. Let me point out just how expensive all of this was. And obviously, I took money out of my bank account and I paid for it out of pocket. I'm not putting up a GoFundMe. I'm not e-begging here. I'm not asking you to bail me out. You can become a channel member here by clicking the member button down below. You can subscribe to me on Twitch for $5 a month. I do have a Patreon, though I barely use it, but you can go throw $1 at me there. Or more importantly, you can buy these meme t-shirts that I had built up. The link is going to be down below. I'll throw the link up here as well. They're pretty cool. I like these t-shirts. My t-shirts are on the way, and I would get one ASAP. Now here's what
Boogie was getting some stick about selling the t-shirts he had created about the whole troll incident. But the whole thing turned out to be very expensive, and he needed to make some of that money back.
So book a cameo today. I don't know, I think they're like 20 bucks, 30 bucks. Boogie doesn't tell me. But it's going to be pretty much like this. It's pretty much going to be depressing as shit like this.
Selling t-shirts, doing cameo videos, at least he wasn't doing what a lot of YouTubers had turned to and created an OnlyFans.
Oh my god, there's his dick! Oh!
So there we have it. Boogie's goal for the whole of 2022 was to not acknowledge negative people online and not use YouTube as a therapy session, and he failed pretty hard at both of those pretty quickly. It doesn't really matter at this point what the initial spark was for Boogie wanting to change, whether it was my video, a new year on the horizon, or his legal troubles hanging over him. It doesn't really matter because none of those things could make Boogie stick to his goals. Maybe he can try again in 2023. But Boogie has been on YouTube for so long, telling us what he was going to do, and never doing it, it's doubtful whether many would believe him at this point. He just seems to be stuck in this endless loop. He seems to be having more success over on TikTok. At least TikTok, he's doing new things. So maybe he will get big over there and ride that wave. So maybe YouTube Boogie is over, and this full-time TikTok Boogie is almost upon us.
All jokes aside, I gotta say, I don't really like uploading to YouTube as much as I used to anymore. But I love uploading to TikTok. Because I feel like here, I can just be weird. That's what YouTube is missing these days. You can't be weird.
Boogie could reinvent himself on TikTok. He could be the silly, edgy, weird guy he really wanted to be.
Well, I guess this does give me an excuse to tell the story again. I ended up doing a podcast with him, and while I was on that podcast with him, he said, look, Boogie, one day I'm coming to your house. I'm going to make sure it's the worst day of your life. I made it very clear he was not welcome here.
Visit me, friend.
But then as I was going through gastric bypass surgery, I went through so much misery, going through a divorce, going through just my internet audience turning against me, and my mental health was awful. But I'm learning to forgive myself, and I'm learning to love myself, and I keep waiting for because I have an anxiety disorder. In the last 15 years or so, since I started my YouTube channel, I tried to bring some awareness to mental health issues. And you know what? The rest of the internet did too. And I think there is more awareness about anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorders, the things that plague me. I haven't done anything. I've sat here and waited for life to pass me by. I cannot tell you how many times I have tweeted about my mental health.
Ignoring the haters and stopping using YouTube as a free therapy session would do wonders for Boogie. That's not me saying that, that's Boogie himself. He just can't seem to take his own advice.
Obviously, I need to take my own advice here, right? You're the one with the problem, not me, not the prosecutor, not the t-shirt shop, nobody. You're just pissing and moaning to be swimming in your own piss. So I get called a classic manipulator all the time, right? And after years of being called that, I decided, fuck it, let's go ahead and be manipulative for a change. So of course I know that the gun meme is in a legal gray area. Of course I knew that people were going to get mad about it. Of course I knew all the usual dipshits would tweet about it and maybe even make videos about it. But I also knew that these dumb motherfuckers would be tweeting about it and messaging me about it, which is exactly what's happening right now. So, well, I might pull the shirt down later today, might pull it down tomorrow, might not ever pull it down until we get a cease and desist. Maybe I'll get sued over it, I don't care. But at the end of the day, it's going to raise the awareness that I wanted. I hate to admit it, But after years of being called a manipulator, why not occasionally manipulate, right? Why not? Why not occasionally just say fuck it and do the thing that's going to give me the most attention? Fuck it. Fuck it. In this case, fuck it. First of which was this reeks of desperation. Obviously, I'm not going to prison. I was never likely to go to prison.